Hello guys, in today's video, we're gonna check out the best Fuji lenses in this year. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and I've tried to list them based on their price, quality, durability, and many more. To find out more information about these Fuji lenses, you can check out the description below. If you want to get a best quality Fuji lens according to your needs, then watch the video till the end and then decide to buy. At the first position of our list, we have Fuji 55-200 f/3.5 4.8, shown on a X prune above. The 55-200 f/35 4.8 is a relatively portable telephoto zoom that offers impressive image quality right across its wide zoom range. Focus is silent and fast, perfectly complementing the best Fuji cameras for discreet shooting. The inbuilt image stabilization of the 55-200 f/35 4.8 is impressive, allowing the use of slow shutter speeds to prevent camera shake even when hand-holding in low-light situations. Imagine being able to shoot 4 or 5 stops slower than you usually would with long-range zoom lens and still have a sharp photo. Being able to use slower shutter speeds in low light will allow you to use lower ISOs, which in turn leads to a cleaner final image. The 55-200 focal length when used on a Fuji X-mount camera with a 1.52x crop factor shows the same angle of view as an 80-300 lens on a 35mm camera. See this guide for more about focal length conversions. With over 105-star reviews on Amazon, the 55-200 f/35 4.8 is one of the best Fuji zoom lenses, an excellent all-round choice with a useful telephoto range and high image quality. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Fuji 23mm f/1.4. For many photographers, including myself, this is one of the best Fuji prime lenses ever made. When I tested a range of Fujifilm lens options for this review, I had this Fuji 23mm f/1.4 on my camera 90% of the time and absolutely loved it. It's usually the smaller prime options such as this one that are the most popular for Fuji X series cameras, since they balance well with the camera body. I've shot with 2 different Nikon 35mm lenses for over 5 years now and agree that this compact offering from Fuji can definitely give them a good run for the money. You can check out the full review of this impressive lens to see how a unit still photographer puts it to good use on film sets. If you're looking for one of the best Fujifilm lenses with a fixed focal length, the 23mm f/1.4 is definitely up there. It's simply an extraordinary lens at a very useful focal length. The number 3 position is held by Fuji 16-55mm f/2.8. The weather-resistant Fujinon 16-55mm f/2.8 lens is a mid-range zoom with a focal length equivalent to 24-80 and a constant f/2.8 aperture throughout the range. It's a pro-grade zoom Fujifilm lens with amazing optics and razor sharpness from edge to edge. If you are ready to make the investment, the 16-55mm f/2.8 is the best mid-range zoom Fujifilm produces, and also the most popular all-round focal length zoom available. The 16-55mm f/2.8 is built out of metal, which makes it very robust and a pleasure to hold. It's also weather resistant, which is great for added peace of mind when shooting landscapes in the great outdoors. Its solid build does, however, add to its weight, with often results in it being a lot heavier than the Fuji mirrorless camera it's attached to. See photo above with the 16-55mm f/2.8 attached to a Fuji X-Tone. If you don't mind the weight, the 16-55mm f/2.8 is technically brilliant, and since the focal range is so versatile, it deserves to remain here as one of the top Fujinon lens options available this year. Next at number 4 we have Fuji 27 f/2.8. This pancake lens is one of my personal favorites in this roundup, after the Fuji 23mm f/1.4. It's the smallest and lightest of all in the range, making it a great Fuji lens for travel. In my mind, the biggest benefit of the Fujifilm X cameras and compact mirrorless cameras in general is their size and weight. Putting a big, heavy zoom on the front of a lightweight Fuji camera body just doesn't make sense to me. The 27 f/2.8 adds a mere 0.17 pounds, 77 g to the front of your camera and is an absolute joy to use, making it much more likely that you'll have your camera in your pocket with you everywhere you go. When stopped down to the smaller apertures, the 27f/2.8 at its sharpest, exhibiting no distortion combined with excellent color rendition, as shown in the JPEG image below, which came straight out of a Fuji X-Prune with Velvia film simulation, with a lens of this focal length and a semi-fast f/2.8 aperture. It won't be pleasing any of the bulk whores out there, but still, there's enough subject separation to elevate your image from the smartphone shooters out there. The 27f/2.8 is available in silver and black. If you're going traveling and need a lightweight, flexible, and fun lens for your new Fuji mirrorless camera, you can't find much better than this great lens. The number 5 position is held by Fuji 16f/1.4. Equivalent to a 24mm lens on a full-frame camera, the Fuji 16f/1.4 is held by many as the best Fuji wide-angle lens. 24mm is typically used in conjunction with a longer lens by wedding photographers, landscape photographers, street photographers, architectural photographers, and basically anyone who wants to tell a story by including more in the frame. For a wide-angle lens, the 16f/1.4 has relatively little distortion for a wide-angle lens. Distortion is hard to measure on some Fujifilm X-mount lenses since the camera body may be correcting any distortion automatically. But either way, you won't see any warped elements in your final images. Remember that you can even shoot portraits with wide-angle lenses such as the 16f/1.4 you step back far enough, as illustrated by the image below. The 16f/1.4 is built like a tank, much the same as most of the Fuji X-mount products. In fact, the Fujifilm X-mount products are built much better than any of the plasticky Nikon or Canon Pro options, which often cost and weigh twice as much. In my opinion, the 16f/1.4 is quite simply the best wide-angle lens available for Fuji X series cameras today, thanks to its image quality, build, and versatility. If you're a stills or video shooter, I highly recommend you have this lens in your camera bag. The number 6 position is dominated by Fuji 1024mm f/4. Many photographers prefer to reach for a wide-angle zoom rather than a prime, often used on tripods by landscape and architectural photographers. The ability to zoom to frame a shot perfectly is a huge advantage when the camera's position is fixed. The 1536mm equivalent focal range of the Fujifilm 1024mm f/4 makes it extremely versatile, allowing the ability to take advantage of a wide angle as well as the popular 35mm, 36mm field of view. It's another great Fuji wide-angle lens that offers a great amount of flexibility, but just be aware that it isn't weather resistant. The fixed f/4 aperture is available throughout the 2.4x zoom range and provides excellent detail from the foreground to the distance. The inclusion of optical image stabilization in the 1024mm f/4 means that you're able to work handheld with shooting in low light too. Thanks to the use of an inner-focusing high-speed AF system with lightweight internal lens elements, the 1024mm f/4 is very quiet to use. Combined with a silent Fuji mirrorless camera like the Fuji X-T2, reviewed here, it makes a perfect reportage-style documentary photography setup. If you're concerned about f/4 not being quick enough for low-light situations and the lack of optical image stabilization therein, I'd recommend investing in one of these solid tripods to stabilize your shot, especially at slower shutter speeds. That said, the optical quality of this lens is superb, and the useful 1024mm focal range still makes the Fujifilm 1024mm f/4 one of Fuji's best options available today. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Fuji 9mm f/2. Remember that this roundup is in no particular order. If it were, the incredible Fujifilm 9mm f/2 would be closer to the top, with an equivalent focal length of 137. The 9mm f/2 is the best Fuji lens for portrait photography in the Fuji X-mount lens lineup, delivering ultra-sharp, flattering results with zero distortion. The optical construction of 11 elements in 8 groups minimizes vignetting and creates beautiful bulk thanks to the rounded diaphragm. For those who need to carry their equipment for long periods such as motorsports photographers, the size and weight of the 9mm f/2 is a godsend. Combined with a Fuji mirrorless body such as the Fujifilm X-T3, the combined weight of just 1.2 tubes makes the combo a pleasure to use. With so many 5-star reviews on Amazon of the Fujifilm 9mm f/2 lens, happy users report ultra sharpness, superb image quality, and astounding color/bokeh/rendering of the Fujifilm 9mm f/2. One pro went as far as to say, "I've had a lot of Canon L glass and this equals or exceeds every one." If you're after what is arguably the best Fuji lens for portraits, or you just want a tighter/more compressed composition, the 9mm f/2 should be at the top of your list. The number 8 position is held by Fuji 35mm f/1.4. It's debatable whether this is the absolute best option available today, but the near-legendary Fujifilm 35mm f/14 is certainly the most popular lens in the Fuji X-mount lens lineup. With a staggering 130+ near-perfect reviews on Amazon and a 98% score on Imaging Resource, this 52mm equivalent option is on the front of so many Fuji mirrorless cameras used professionally around the world, and for good reason. Early in 2012, Fuji released the X Pro 1 system, with this 35mm f/14 being one of the 3 flagship lenses. Images such as the one below may not be optically perfect, but they exhibit a certain character that is unattainable with other Fujifilm lenses. When combined with the eerily silent Fujifilm X-H1, you've got yourself a camera setup that won't turn a single head, even when you're shooting at high-speed burst mode. Despite its age, the Fujifilm 35mm f/1.4 is still an excellent performer. Perhaps not as sharp and optically perfect as some of the others in this Fuji Best Lens Roundup, but nevertheless, displaying a certain quality to image rendering that sets it a step above the rest. Don't just take my word for it though. Have a look at the hundreds of 5-star reviews on Amazon for the Fuji 35mm f/1.4. It's amazing just how popular it is. Next at number 9, we have Fuji 56mm f/1.2. Whilst we're still on the topic of Fujifilm X series lenses with near-legendary status and tons of positive customer reviews, the Fujifilm 56mm f/1.2 really deserves its mention as perhaps the best Fuji X lens for portrait photography. Often hard to find due to high demand, the 56mm f/1.2 is the lens of choice of every wedding photographer I've met who shoots with a Fuji mirrorless camera. As Fuji's fastest portraiture lens, the 56mm f/1.2 exhibits the 85mm equivalent creamy bokeh when shot wide open at f/1.2, letting in enough light to warrant its use even in the darkest of locations. While similar f/1.2 lenses from Canon, which are over twice the price of this Fuji, display softness when shot at f/1.2, the 56mm f/1.2 manages to achieve incredible sharpness from edge to edge. However, it's the beautiful out-of-focus elements, both that really make this lens deserving of its inclusion in this roundup. The 85mm equivalent field of view of the 56mm f/1.2 is a favorite of portrait photographers, tight if you move in close, yet wide enough to include just enough of the background in the frame to tell the story. If you're looking for stellar subject separation and low light performance, it's hard to beat the 56mm f/1.2. And the hundreds of positive customer reviews since its launch in 2014 tell a similar story. Read them here. If you're lucky enough to find the 56mm f/1.2 in stock and have some money to invest in this impressive portrait lens, you will regret your decision. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Fuji 5100 f/2.8. The 5100 f/2.8 is another of the best Fuji X-mount zoom lenses, offering the most frequently used telephoto focal lengths, equivalent to 76-214 in a robust, well-designed unit. The Canon/Nikon 7200 zooms are the most popular professional zooms, and this is the same with the 5100 f/2.8 on the Fuji side. Similar to the more expensive Canon/Nikons, the zoom lens is razor sharp throughout the entire zoom range. Autofocus is silent, almost instantaneous, and always accurate. In dimmer light, the 5100 f/2.8 starts to struggle when compared to a DSLR 7200, so low-light sports use is not advisable. By day and in good light is where this lens really sinks, as shown in the excellent panning motorsports shot below. Image stabilization on the 5100 f/2.8 also deserves a mention, with handheld shots at shutter speeds as slow as 1/15 shot at 100 remaining very sharp. Shooting at such slow speeds would be extremely difficult without the inbuilt image stabilization on this Fuji lens. Whilst my recommendation for mirrorless cameras is always a small, lightweight prime lens if you're in the market for an all-purpose telephoto zoom, The 5100 Fordham f/2.8 should be on your radar. Stick to daytime usage, and you'll be the envy of every back-aching DSLR shooter stuck on the sidelines. That's all for today. We upload camera and camera accessories review videos every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.